Welcome back to the Mackay T Show podcast. We are back for our second episode, and I think right off the bat you have an announcement.
Yes, I have an announcement, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I try not to speak from a place of ignorance, and so I always go in when people say New York is the mecca of basketball. So I said, let me get myself together and look up Mecca. And I don't know why I haven't done this before, but Mecca means a place many people visit or hope to visit. So I'm going to let them have that because New York might be a Mecca. Like, people want to go to the Rucker Park and the other parks around there. So I'm going to let them have that whole Mecca thing. Because in my mind, I was thinking they were some kind of basketball gods or something. So I just had to correct that, so I didn't want to continue. And I want y'all to think, because I'm sure other people was thinking like me. Like, New York thought they had it going on. But, yeah, that's what Mecca means. And so that was our educational moment for today.
The more you know. Cue the music. Okay, well, go ahead and jump right into it. Since we're on the basketball, we'll go ahead and start and just kind of go over how our Final Four picks came out. You know, the Final Four starts this weekend. And on the men's side, I was 3 for 4. I got UConn, excuse me. I'm jumping to the women already. The men, I got Kentucky versus Wisconsin. And I had Michigan State beating Louisville, and they moved on to play Duke, who I really hate myself for going against Coach K, because the reason I, picked Michigan State is because I didn't want to go against Izzo. And I went against Coach K and thought Gonzaga had a good chance to be an up-and-comer, kind of have a chance to move in there, and they didn't get it done for me. So Duke moves on, and it's going to be 2 really good matchups, Kentucky and Wisconsin, Michigan State and Duke. And how'd your bracket come out?
Well, I still got Kentucky and Duke. I had picked Arizona, I believe, to beat Wisconsin, but I'm still going. I had Duke and Kentucky. Playing, so I'm still going with them to go to the finals. And okay. That one loss that I had for Kentucky still hanging out there. So they probably gonna. I think Kentucky might win, but I'm going with Duke.
Okay. Over on the women's side, we have UConn moving on, and they will face Maryland, and South Carolina will face Notre Dame. Once again, I was 3 for 4 on my picks. I had a sentimental favorite, Tennessee beating Maryland, which did not work out for me. But honestly, after watching that game, the better team won that night, and I really believe that Maryland can give UConn a run. I'm not saying they're going to beat them, but I believe Maryland has what it takes to at least give them a good game.
Well, I had UConn, Maryland, South Carolina, and Baylor. Obviously, Baylor lost to Notre Dame, but I still had UConn and South Carolina going to the finals. So, if Maryland's guards, D. Brown's daughter and the other guards, if they play well, but I think just UConn got so many bodies just coming at you. It's going to be tough, especially if them guards don't play well.
Right. And as far as who I believe is going to win, I still think it's the 2 top dogs coming out in both the men and the women. I still think Kentucky, and I think it's UConn in the women and Kentucky in the men's game to lose. So if somebody sneaks up and get them, that's great. If they don't, then hey, chalk wins, chalk walks, or whatever they call it.
I think that I really want to see if South Carolina is ready to take the next step, and maybe not win it, but give UConn all they can handle. Because they got blew out, and I'm sure them girls gonna feel some kind of way and want to get a little bit of revenge factor in that game. Because I just don't want to see a blowout, and I probably won't even watch the game, to be perfectly honest. But I don't want to. Nobody likes a blowout. I guess if you on the whoever gets winning side, you like a blowout, but no, I don't like blowouts necessarily. So
no, you always want a good game when you don't have you know, a true favorite. Right, when you don't have a dog in that fight, you want a good game. You want to see it come down to the last second and somebody throw in a 40-footer at the buzzer for the win. You know, that's what you want. And on that note, we're gonna move right along to the NBA MVP candidates. I know I didn't get to see any of the games last night, but I woke up to 400 Bleacher Report notifications of Harden going for 51, career high last night. Russell Westbrook of Oklahoma City, having him a triple-double. And I think it's honestly, I think it's a 3-horse race. I think it's them two and Steph Curry, who just, I don't know what his vendetta is against Chris Paul, but it seems like he likes to make him look like he's on ice skates when he's guarding him.
That I sent a text to my people yesterday.
Yes, I got it.
It don't make no sense. And Chris is gonna be on a bunch of his highlights. Unfortunately for Chris, I think he got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder because everybody talk about how great of a point guard Chris Paul is, and Chris Paul really haven't done anything, to be totally honest. Yeah, he is a good point guard, and you might want to use great, but he ain't really no superstar. People know his name, he a star, but I say it's a 2-horse race, and I say it's just Curry and Harden because Westbrook's team is struggling. Yeah, they may or may not get in the playoffs, but I think it's just Harden and Curry.
Right now they're hanging on to that 8th seed by a thread, with Pelicans looking to move in there any chance they get. All right, well, we're going to take our first break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, and we left last talking about the NBA MVP candidates. A lot of initials right there, tongue twister. MVP candidates. So we'll move right along from that and go into our playoff push talk. I just kind of was jotting some notes over the past couple of days. I think in the Eastern Conference, I think it's the top 3 teams. Well, standing-wise right now are the Cavs, Cleveland Cavaliers, the Chicago Bulls, and the Atlanta Hawks. After looking at the rest of the list, I think maybe Toronto could jump up there and be a top 3 candidate. But as far as, you know, who has a chance to come out in the East, I think it depends on Derrick Rose's health, more than likely. And that's,
okay, Derrick Rose, let me go on and help you right now.
Go ahead.
Derrick Rose not gonna help them. They gonna give Washington. That's gonna be a close series. Look, if Cleveland, I don't really see who gonna beat Cleveland. Okay, because now Miami might be. They seem to struggle against Miami for whatever reason, but I mean, Atlanta's not playing as well as they were early. Brooklyn definitely not gonna beat them.
Don't let that fool you. Don't let Atlanta fool you. You know that's San Antonio East. Everybody got fooled by San Antonio last year.
I understand, but this is the problem with Atlanta. You leave at least one star or superstar when it's crunch time and you need a basket. And you say, here LeBron, here Westbrook, here Curry, go get us a point. Or get us on the free throw line. Who is that person for them? Okay, and so that's going to be the problem. I like Atlanta. I like them, but that's the thing that I was like, they need a star. They need a dude when it's 4th quarter, everybody's struggling, everybody's tense. Because, I mean, they ain't been in no playoffs. Most of them players ain't been in no playoff intense atmosphere. And so, you got to have that guy that's like, man, give me the ball. I got this.
I agree. So, on the over on the west side, it's again, I mean, I think it's the top 3 teams or the ones that could possibly come out with it, and it's three names that really are traditionally not in the talk. Which you got the Warriors, Golden State Warriors, the Memphis Grizzlies, who are regular in the playoffs but not in championship talk, and the Houston Rockets. And again, with the Rockets, it's all about your boy Dwight Howard and his injury rehab, and however he comes back from that. Portland could sneak in there. I like their tandem there with Damian Lillard and LaMarcus Aldridge. Do you see anybody else in the West? Maybe the Clippers?
No, you can't lead a champion out like that. It's being disrespectful. That's what you're doing. You're being disrespectful. The Spurs are the champions. And what did Tom Jonovic tell you? Never underestimate the heart of a champion.
Yes, indeed.
And so, if I was Houston, I wouldn't even want to play San Antonio. Because I was looking the other day, and they got like 40-something, 49 or something wins. They're going to finish with 50-plus wins, even though we would say, oh, they're not having a great, spectacular year like they have in the past. All they need to do, get in pretty much. Because for some reason, they figure out how to turn it on. And so I wouldn't want to be Houston. Especially, I mean, Dwight Howard still ain't 100%, don't look like. Or he don't have his rhythm and his legs under him yet. So I wouldn't want to play San Antonio.
And James Harden is not going to score 50 points a game against the Spurs in the playoffs.
That team defense is going to be a lot better than most. And, again, like we talked about with the men's NCAA, they coach. He know how to get his people ready. He's been strategically resting people. And he going to have them ready. So I wouldn't count them out. I wouldn't be surprised to see San Antonio and Golden State playing for it all.
No, because
not for it all, but for the.
Like I told you, I picked against the Spurs last year, and they snuck on in there and got them a ring. It made me look like a fool, because here I am. I'm technically, in my mind, I think I know a little bit about basketball, and then the old heads show up when they want to show up.
Yeah, barring some injury, like, they going to have old boy that was beat up, LeBron, going to be on the bearded one. Yeah. And it's going to be, like, up to the rest. Like, I really see them. Houston should be worried about playing that game. Their manager or whatever was saying that they can beat anybody in any series. But I wouldn't want to play San Antonio right off the bat.
No. Okay, moving on from that. Like we said last week, we're going to jump into the NFL talk. And the 49ers, near and dear to both of our hearts. They seem to be somewhat imploding. I mean, there's a lot of articles out there saying that they, don't panic yet, don't push the panic button. But you got Patrick Willis and Chris Borland retiring early. Frank Gore signing with the Colts. Mike Iupati, left guard, signing with the Arizona Cardinals. Michael Crabtree has not signed with anyone yet. He's still out there hanging. And Vernon Davis, your cousin.
My cousin. Yeah, so I pushed the panic button when we hired this dude, Thompson. So I've been on panic mode. And then I pushed double panic mode when Patrick Willis, I'm talking about he retiring. So, I mean, you can't go from, I guess you can in some world, go from being the what was he, the defensive line coach or something?
Yeah,
he ain't even been a coordinator. How you jump to being a coach?
Yeah, he skipped a couple of steps on his way to the top.
Must be nice. I don't know what this, we gonna be off. I can just see it now. We're gonna be off.
As far as the blackout policy, the NFL has come out and said they're stopping the blackout policy in 2015. I for one, think it's going to be a huge TV ratings boost, because I can't tell you how many times being down here in New Orleans Saints country when they would black out a game because the game didn't sell out, how that just, it would drive you nuts, especially with a family full of Saints fans like I have. I mean, it was really disturbing for that to happen. I know that happened in other markets as well. I mean, I think this is going to be a great thing for the NFL. They're going to get their money on game day tickets as well. I mean, they're still going to get it because people are still going to go to those games.
The NFL has got to stop being greedy. we are talking about a billion-dollar industry, and all that is greed. The tickets are so high that if a family of four wants to go, they're going to be broke. And then they're going to sit in the nosebleeds and not be able to do anything but look at the Jumbotron. Well, looking at the Jumbotron is like looking at my 52-inch flat screen at the house. So I might as well stay at the house.
Correct.
Not have to pay $10 for a hot dog and a drink and watch it. And so, like you said, the rate is going to go up television-wise, and they still going to make their money.
Right.
At the end of the day, they still going to make their money, and they might grab some more fans that was mad, like in Nashville and these little places that might not sell out.
Right.
Now fans will be like, well, I can watch it on TV.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take another break. We'll be back in a few. Welcome back, everybody, and jumping right into it. Netflix, Hulu Plus, WatchESPN, and I know Disney Channel has their own form of internet viewing. They have CBS has an internet viewing. I mean, just ABC is going into it. Do you see this as, we're not talking, 1-2 years down the road. It's going to be a few years, but do you see this signaling the end of satellite and TV and cable TV as we know it?
It has ended for me for a while. I hadn't had television in God knows how long. If I can't get it on the antenna, oh well. And most of the good shows come on ABC, NBC, and CBS, so all you need is an antenna. Now, if you're living out in the country, you might need a little more. The price is going up so much. I talk to people that do have cable and dish and whatever service all the time and talk about how much the prices keep going up. The problem with that is, and I've said this for God knows how long, if they offer me a 10-channel package, because I'm not going to watch 200 channels. Like, that's just not happening. So it's a waste for me to have all them channels and be paying for that when all I need is ABC, NBC, CBS, maybe like TBS, TNT, ESPN, BET, or something. Whatever you like. You might like some fishing channel. And offer me a package at whatever rate. I mean, you can't even just get cable. It's better for you to get a cable and the internet. Like, it's just a mess. So yeah, soon it won't be internet. People just have internet service and watch all their shows off of the internet.
Piggybacking off what you said, I really believe the satellite providers would do themselves a great service if they would let you go in and have a set price, but let you pick the 25 channels that you want, instead of giving you a group. Like, yeah, you'll get your TBS, but you also gonna get FXX and channels that you're not necessarily gonna ever go to, but they're gonna be sitting there and you're gonna be paying for them, but you're not ever gonna watch them. I mean, they ought to let viewers, and I know there's probably a lot of things involved that I don't know about, but they ought to let you go and choose your 25 channels that you want, your ESPN and your ABC, your NBC, and just let you have that little package. Instead of buying, and when you get ESPN, you got to buy you get all the Fox sports channels.
Cortez and ESPN,
right.
And ESPN Ace. No, I don't need all that. I can't understand Spanish. Whatever. Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, and also, as far as the CBS, ABC, watching that online, 9 times out of 10, you need a satellite or a cable provider to watch those online. And, so that, unless they're going to come out and have their own service where they charge you a fee. But once again, It's money making because $9.99 a month for Netflix, you know, $9.99 for Hulu Plus. Then it's gonna be $9.99 for ABC, $9.99 for NBC. And once, by the time you paying all that, you might as well buy a satellite dish.
Right, and but you know the good thing is CBS, ABC. I mean, like I said, I don't watch a lot of television, but CBS I do watch, like NCIS Los Angeles and one other show I think on there. And you don't have to have a cable provider. That's why I fell off the Scandal train, because ABC started tripping with, oh, you needed somebody to log in to watch Scandal. Yeah. I didn't even watch it all that other past season.
Yeah, that is very good about the CBS. I mean, they're pretty good about putting it up there a day or two, you know, after it airs live on TV, and you don't necessarily need a login for that.
Yeah, I don't think NBC either. Let me knock on wood before they start trying to put it up there too. But anyway.
Right. All right, diving back into our Empire. Into our Empire TV show, Fox's hit show that just wrapped up their first season about a week back. I know you have delved into this topic on Monique supposedly being the original Cookie character. Okay. Go ahead.
So, when I heard the whole Cookie thing, it's just like everybody else in America that's on the Empire train. Like, get out of here. You could have never been Cookie. So again, I had to come from a place not of ignorance or just jump into first conclusions. I was like, okay, now if I had never saw Taraji P. Henderson do this role, now that I'm thinking about it, Monique could be ghetto enough, or you know, whatever, hood enough, and it's all really in the writing how we. I think she could be Cookie, but when you look at the alleged quote unquote cast that they wanted, Wesley Snipes. Word on the street is he was supposed to be Lucius. Originally, I guess that's who they wanted for the part. Monique would have been Cookie. Romeo, or this guy named Quincy Brown, would have been playing Akeem, which is the little rapper guy. Andre was going to be Lance Gross, which is Tyler Perry's little fine. Right. And then some guy named Corbin Blue was going to be Jamal. And when you look at that group of people together, you like, okay, I can see that. And I can see how, you know, she could be Cookie. Now, so doing my research, found an interview on V103 Atlanta. Shout out.
ATL.
And Monique, I mean, I was like, this thing it don't make sense for you to just pull that off the bottom of your shoe that Lee Daniels asked me to be Cookie. So she talked about during the interview that, you know, he also asked her to be in The Butler, which he denies, as far as my understanding. Well, you know, people don't just get scripts for these shows if somebody don't want you to have some kind of role, and they ain't sending you no script. The talk show host on B103 was like, yeah, he saw the paperwork, and apparently, like, the envelope that it came in from Lee Daniels' people to her. And so you didn't give her no script just to read it and say how much she liked it. You gave her the script because you wanted her to be in the movie.
Right.
I have no doubt that he asked her about being Cookie. Knowing, like, from what, you know, she did in Precious, because she was pretty hood in Precious.
Yes, yes.
And we've seen her dolled up and, you know, dressed up and looking nice. So you can see her start to flip like they did Cookie when she got out of jail. Went from the little prostitute kind of look to more fashionable and up to date. I don't know what his deal is. He all about this doing business. She wouldn't do business, quote unquote. And I mean, if she want to stand on her morals, don't throw her on the bus for it, because you know you okay with kissing somebody's butt or doing whatever, lying, conniving, scheming to get where you want to be, and she don't want to do all that. Don't get mad and start talking about she blackballed because she's difficult to deal with, when in fact she explained all this stuff about Tyler Perry and Oprah. One, she did all her stateside commitments for Precious.
Right.
When it got bigger than they thought it would, and they wanted to go to France or some film festival and somewhere else, she was basically like, I don't want to do it. I respectfully decline. No, I don't want to do it. They was like, please, please, please. Well, then her husband, who was also her manager, was like, well, if the guy asked, or somebody asked from Lionsgate side of the deal, well, what would it take to get Monique to come over here? Well, he was like, how much are you willing to pay? Well, they returned, we don't pay the entertainers to do promotion work. And so that's the end of the discussion. Now all of a sudden she's difficult because she didn't want to pay stuff that you would already pay for, which is her flight and her hotel. And she wanted money to do extra because if it wasn't in her contract, you asking her to do extra for free.
Right, and she fulfilled all her American commitments, and he was wanting her to go abroad.
Above and beyond.
Right, for free.
No money.
On her own dime.
On her own dime.
Right.
And her time. And she said during that time she was filming the Monique show, which, I mean, I was disappointed that it went off because it was actually a nice little talk show at night. She was doing some comedic work. She was doing some tour. And then, you know, she had just come off for doing all the stuff of publicizing for purchase. So, you know, she explained that she was, when she had any downtime, she had committed it to her family because she had messed up early in her career. And she explained that her 25-year-old son and her had a strained relationship because she didn't spend as much time as I guess he thought that she should have spent with him. And so they had a strained relationship. And she said now, you know, she got a new child and she wasn't going to make those same mistakes. And Tyler Perry and Oprah should be shamed for throwing her on the bus if that's what they did, because I haven't heard them speak on anything.
Right.
But apparently they said that, you know, she was difficult to deal with too. And like they making millions of dollars, and they used to people saying yes, we'll do whatever because you Tyler, because you Oprah, and she was like no.
Right.
And so, you know, people in power don't like for people to just kind of say no to them. They want yes men around.
Oh yeah, I mean that's how they got to be where they are, because a lot of yes men and women. And
right. So kudos to Monique. She got a new movie come out called Blackbirds, which it looks like it's gonna be a good movie. It's about a young man that's he's a homosexual in a choir, at church. Monique is his mother, and she's like a Christian, you know, by the book mother. And the dad is he's a Christian. He might be a pastor, but anyway, he's trying to see it from his son's side, and so we should see how that turned out. There's some interesting on the trailer. I was like, that's a bit too much, but okay. With the guy,
right.
Yeah, they were showing a lot of stuff.
Wow.
Like, but Blackbirds, it looked like it might be all right. When it come on Netflix, I'll watch it.
Yeah. You know, I'm glad she got to come out and say her piece on this issue, but I really, I guess just me being in the moment, I just can't see anybody but Taraji P. Henson playing Cookie. I don't know that I want. Maybe it's that I can't. Maybe I don't want to. You know.
But step outside of yourself. You can see that role was for her, but if you step outside of yourself, you know, we always talk about if we want, you know, write books or whatever, or do our own little movie show. If you step back for a minute and forget that you ever saw Taraji, we don't know what. If it could have been Halle Berry, and we would have been like, wow, Halle is killing this role. And we could have never saw Taraji being in that role. Yes,
because that's interesting, because it could have been Halle Berry reprising her role from Baps.
Oh my. Lord, I almost bought Baps in Walmart.
Shout out to 90s. Shout out to 90s movies.
Right, I almost bought Baps.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm like I told you, there's always three sides to everything. There's your side, my side, and the truth. So I'd be interested to hear if, you know, Tiger or Oprah speak on this issue. I'd love to hear their side of it. And you know, then people are gonna form their own public opinion anyway. So you know.
Because I did just jump on, like, I never thought like, oh, she crazy, but I was just like you. I was like, you know, Taraji, she killing this role. Like, this role was made for her. But then after she explained a lot of stuff, I was like, yeah, it don't make sense for you to just make that up. Because when my mom was the one that mentioned it to me, I was like, well, why would she make that up? Like, it don't make sense. That's like me saying, oh, Brian offered me a role in whatever, and like, why? It didn't make sense for her to just lie about that.
Right. Yeah, it's what if? If ifs was fifths.
And if ifs was fifths, we'd all be drunk.
Yes, indeed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to be our show for this week. Follow us on Twitter for updates on what we talk about possibly on our next show. And the Twitter handle is at the THE Mac letter N T show. Once again, that's at the THE MAC the letter N T show on Twitter. And as always, you can hit us up at email at the THE Mac the letter N T show at gmail.com. And once again, I'm Brian Mackay
T Davis,
and this is the Mac and T Show podcast. Thank you for listening.